Welcome to today's jazz standard lesson on the chords to Georgia on My Mind. This is a great one to learn about secondary dominance, also about turnarounds, and much, much more. The chord shapes and the chart that you'll see on the screen is available to download as a PDF for free. Check the description below. Now let's get started. So this tune has had many different interpretations since 1930 when Hoagy Carmichael wrote it. It's a 32-bar AABA form, and it's often played in the key of F, although sometimes you'll hear people play it in B flat too. And before I get into these chords, I should just say there's many different ways you could approach playing this standard. This is what I like to use, and I suppose, the influence of versions that I like have led me to this way of playing the chords. Here's my chart on the screen. Now, if you look at the key signature, we've got 1 flat. That means the key of F major. So F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. From that scale, we can build the following chords. F major 7, G minor 7, A minor 7, B flat major 7, C dominant 7th, D minor 7, E minor 7 flat 5. So that's chords 1 to 7. The important chords there for me really are obviously chord 1, F major 7, the chord that the song always wants to get back to, C7, which helps us get back to F major 7, and probably chord 6, D minor. That features quite heavily in this one too. So let's get into the A section now. I'll play the chords of the A section once through, and then we'll talk about what's going on harmonically and how things are working. So we start out on F major 7. So work our way to D minor. Nice inversion of D minor 7 there. G/B gives us a nice falling bass. B flat minor 6. F with A in the bass. Again, keeps that bass moving. D7. G minor 7. C7. Now here's the first turnaround, first time bar. In this C7 sharp 5, and we start again. So the second time bar after this C7, so here. And that's taking us into the B section. So let's have a little think about what's actually happening here, because there's a hell of a lot of movement there. In terms of the labelling, the blue chords are in key and the red chords are out of key. So we start out from the stable position on chord 1, F major 7. And then this next move is all about getting to D minor. Now, if you listen to it, starts now, the move. Traveling to relatives, as I'd call it, because D minor is the relative minor, it's chord 6. So that A7 leads us into D minor. This is really, as I've put it on the chart, as you see, a minor 2-5-1 from D minor. So E minor 7 flat 5, A7 to D minor is the minor 2-5-1 from that key. So it's like starting out in the major key and then moving to the relative minor when we land there. Although things quickly change after that. We should also think about A7 as a secondary dominant. In the key of F, there was only one dominant, and that was C7. Now, if we get any other dominants in a song like this, then we're going to call that a secondary dominant, a dominant borrowed to help us move to different chords or to make more interesting moves. So that A7 is a borrowed chord because we get A minor in the key of F, not A7, and it leads us perfectly there. We then get the 7th in the bass, D minor 7 with a C in the bass, and this is all about having a nice descending bass line, and then landing on G/B, which is out of key. Chord 2 would normally be a G minor 7, so this is a G with the 3rd in the bass. It's borrowed chord again, and the same with this one. This B flat minor 6. The B flat in the key of F would be B flat major 7, chord 4. But a very common musical device is to make chord 4 a minor. The minor 4 we call it. If you listen to this kind of progression, if I went F major 7, then B flat major 7, B flat minus, or B flat minus 6 in that instance, you'll hear that's a common move. Very features heavily in so many songs, not just jazz standards, but popular songs too. Now the minor 4 chord works well going back to chord 1, so F, and we go back to F after that, but with the 3rd in the bass, because that's helped us go from the D minor 7 with the C in the bass, then G/B, B flat minor 6, and then F with A in the bass, the third in the bass, or the first inversion gives us this walking down bass. You know, from the start, you hear that nice rundown starting now. Then we change it from here. So F is chord 1, obviously. Move to D7. We know that's borrowed because D minor is the D bass chord in this key, so this is another secondary dominant. Where does D7 want to go? You've probably played enough tunes that know that D7 likes to go to G or G minor, and lo and behold, it does, and we go to G minor 7 next. The G minor 7 is part of a 2-5 move, so we're going G minor 7, C7, resolving to F. Let's listen to that. So starting out chord 1, moving to D minor, then this nice run down in the bass. This is like a turnaround here, and then we start 2, 5, and then the first time bar is a turnaround F, 6. Now I'm doing a thumb bass chord here. You could just play F major 7 if it's easier, or just omit the thumb note, and then got a diminished chord off what I've labelled as sharp 1 diminished, because it's like F sharp 1 higher, G minor 7 2 chord, C7 sharp 5, so it's an alteration of the dominant, which gives us a more interesting pull back to the start. A section then is identical until we reach the second time bar, where we're going to go F major 7 chord 1 to chord 4 as a minor, the minor 4 again, back to chord 1, and then E minor 7 flat 5, A7, and we should know where that wants to go based on the start of the tune. It's of course going to go to D minor, a move to the relative minor. So recapping that A section, starts out from that nice stable position, moves to D minor, the relative minor, via that minor 2-5-1. Then we get the nice bass rundown with inversions to just have some nice satisfying chords falling into each other, I like to think of it as, and then we just hit the nice turnarounds, you know. And this is the bit of the song which you'll see the most variation in how people like to play chords. The F/A will often be played as A minor 7, which, you know, chord 1 can substitute for chord 3 and vice versa, so it's not an unusual one. Now if I play the B section, you'll hear the feel of the song has completely changed. Here it is on the screen. So just listening to that, I'm sure you can hear that doesn't feel like a major bass tune anymore. And obviously the F major is not really a big part of it. It's really D minor is the focal chord. And what the song has done is it's shifted to the relative minor, to the key of D minor. So we need to think about what the key of D minor means. Let's do the same thing we did to the F scale at the start, where we got the 7 chords, and we would have D minor or D minor 7 chord 1, E minor 7 flat 5 chord 2, same set of chords as F but just in a different order, F major 7 chord 3, G minor 7 chord 4, A minor 7 chord 5, probably often changes to A7 in a lot of instances, although not in this tune, B flat major 7 chord 6, C7 chord 7, and then we're back to D minor. In this section, because we've moved to the relative minor, I've made the chords which are in key black and the chords which are out of key red. Let's look at the first 4 bars. So we start out on chord 1, D minor, moving to chord 4, G minor 6, and then back to D minor, then a nice bluesy B flat 7, so that's out of key, so that's chord 6 as a dominant, back to chord 1, D minor, back to chord 4, G minor 6, and then D minor to G7 this time, so that's out of key. It's got that higher sound because of that note there. So let's listen to those first 4 bars again. So I really think it's got a nice bluesy quality to that. So the remaining 4 bars of the B section go D minor, G minor 6, D minor, E7, A minor 7, D7 flat 9, G minor 7, C7 sharp 5, leading us perfectly back to do that final A section because the form is A-A-B-A. So what's going on here? This is slightly different, and this is about the song wanting to get back to the A section. We start out on chord 1, D minor, move to chord 4, G minor 6, back to D minor, and then this E7 is a pointing chord and it's pointing towards an A. Why? Because E7 is the dominant of A bass chords. So I've labelled it on the chart as the 5 of 3, because from this moment on, really, we're working back to F major. A minor was chord 3 in F major, and E7 is the 5 of A minor, or A. So it's a 5 of 3, leading us to the 3 chord, then to D7. I've done it as a flat 9 just for a bit more interest. You can just play D7 if it's easier. And that's the 5 of 2, G minor 7, and then C7 sharp 5 is the dominant of F to lead us perfectly back. So that B section in full. The first line's that bluesy feel. Second line's about getting back to the start. The journey started, and now we'd be back into that A section. The final section is identical to the others, just the last 4-bar turnaround is slightly different. So we're back with F major 7, moving to D minor, then the falling bass, just this turnaround. We're going to go F major 7, B flat minor 6, F major 7, G minor C7, which would lead us back to the start. So let's reflect a little bit on some of the interesting things happening in that song. First off, the move to the relative minor, both within the A section and more generally in the B section. So at the start there, straight away it's about going to D minor, the relative minor, and the B section is obviously a full-on move to that feel, that minor feel. And there's many other standards which do that. Take There Is No Greater Love. Starts out in the key of B flat major, B section moves to the relative minor, G minor, and there's lots of instances of other tunes which do that. So it's a good thing just to know that songs often like to move to the relative minor, and vice versa. If you're in a minor bass song, you might move to the relative major. The secondary dominance that we've got in there. So remembering that, you know, the 5 chord in the key of F is C7, and if we've got any other dominants, then they're borrowed, they're secondary to that primary dominant, and they're used to move to other chords. So in this particular one, the A7 used to get to D minor, we use an E7 to get to A minor, we use a D7 to get to G minor. Those are all really, really common things, and if you played a lot of songs in the key of F, those similar secondary dominants would come up. Those kind of connections are really important to make between the standards that you're learning and that you've previously learned. The other really common musical move is really the use of the minor 4 chord. So chord 4 in this key should be B flat major 7. We're often playing it, well, we're always playing it actually, as B flat minor 6 here. So that's a big part of the feel of this tune. As ever, learning a new standard might bring up some points of further learning required. So here's 2 videos for myself that might help with some of the topics I've been talking about today, like secondary dominance and moving to the relative minor. Thanks as ever for checking out today's video. Jazz guitar lessons every Wednesday and Saturday. Until next time, you take care.